Fuck me. Hands down the coolest shit I've done with my life to date. I've done some cool shit. This is the tops.
I'm very excited to be sitting on this side of the table again, and we've got Josh welcomed back from Everest, and we're here to talk about his fundraising effort and learn a little bit more about his adventure.
The next day, woke up. Most of them we got back to Gorrochship. The next day, woke up and there was snow and torrential rain, and we had to walk on out of that. And that was the first day that I wore pants. I wore.
I was going to say,
No, I wore pants, but I wore.
didn't do
I was
the whole
just
thing
wearing.
commando, I hope.
No, I wore shorts. So I set myself a little goal, and that was an additional goal. So the fundraiser. Let's get into that first. We've had some stellar bloody companies, some stellar people. No travel insurance. Silly bugger. So the trek itself, right, from landing in Thukla, I got out of the plane and I was sitting on the side of the bed holding my stomach, and I'd rub tiger balm into it. I was trying anything. I was taking pain relief, and then there was someone on the trip that said, you might need to take an antibiotic. And I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll take an antibiotic. And then I was just like, I've got no antibiotics. Obviously, intense to lose 10 kilos in
that
bloody
was the backpack
13.
that you had when you were doing your training. So not only you shred that.
We were hit with this bloody snowstorm, and I don't know if you guys saw it on the news, but there was I think about 50 people died on the other side of the Tibetan side of Everest, and 1,000 people were had to be evacuated from the mountain.
This is Thukla, the memorial to all those who have died on Everest. Sad but humbling experience.
Welcome back to another episode of the Gold Room podcast. I'm very excited to be sitting on this side of the table again, and we've got Josh welcomed back from Everest, and we're here to talk about his fundraising effort and learn a little bit more about his adventure.
Deb, I'm going to have to bloody hand over the permanent reins to the Gold Room to you. I think you're bloody ripper. Elise, thanks for joining us as well.
Yes, great to be here.
Excellent. So the fundraiser. Let's get into that first. We've had some stellar bloody companies, some stellar people that have both messaged me, whether it be on LinkedIn or Instagram or even through my mobile number. First, it was best of luck, and then obviously while I was there was that snowstorm blizzard that came through and avalanches.
We were all looking at that, thinking, "Oh, is he okay?"
I've got some. I'll be giving Dimitri. We've got some. There's some videos of walking through. So we arrived at base camp, and the next day woke up. Most of them we got back to Gorrochship. The next day woke up and there was snow and torrential rain, and we had to walk on out of that. And that was the first day that I wore pants. I wore.
I was going to say,
No, I wore pants, but I wore.
didn't do
I was
the whole
just
thing
wearing
commando, I hope.
No, I wore shorts. So I set myself a little goal, and that was an additional goal to walk from when I got to Kathmandu. All the way through, I wanted to make it to base camp in just wearing shorts and a couple of bloody layers on top. So it was just another little goal that I got. So Dimitri will throw some photos in of that, I'm sure.
Fantastic.
But look, we have Jonathan Fisher from Cauldron Energy. You know him, Deb.
Yep.
He's
Love Jonathan.
Do you love him as much as he loves uranium?
No, I don't think anyone loves anything as much as Jonathan loves uranium.
No, I've got him in the studio next week too.
That's going to be an awesome episode. We'll give that a plug now.
Yeah, bloody oath. Cauldron Energy. Eric Coops from ATG. There's a couple of CTL Australia. That's obviously all the tea houses.
All your fans.
That's us.
Yes.
That's the business.
Awesome.
Putting it in. We have Amanda Buckingham from Warradar Resources. Thank you very much, Amanda. Cameron Sharp from Caterpillar.
Hey.
We've got Eric Hill, the first bloody co-host on the Gold Room podcast. Lewis Horton from L&H Partners. Sarah Collins, that's me sister. That's bloody nice of her.
Call her out.
Glenn Richardson from Kalgoorlie came on as a co-host a couple of weeks ago. Sue Budelich.
Budelich. Yes.
And so she's from Mission Australia.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you very
right.
much, Sue. Gary Burrows, the great Gary Burrows, a mining extraordinaire. He's actually due to come on the podcast as a co-host in the next month or so. Stephen Posnick.
Oh, legend.
How amazing is he? He
Pos is
chucked
a
a
legend.
big, fat, bloody check down. That's awesome. NLC Engineering, who we obviously had on this show, so thank you very much. Michelle Keegan, Robopalooza, woman extraordinaire, and Carl Howard from iCare. So we've had 74. The Gold Room podcast has supported 74 businesses and people to come on and tell their amazing story, tell us and the viewers who they are, who their business is, and what means something to them. So some of those have obviously donated to the fundraiser, which goes directly to you guys. So look, right from the get-go, it was, as I said, it was something that I wanted to do for me. I really needed to, and it was only this morning that I watched, as I said to you guys, only this morning that I watched the episode in its entirety. I had nothing to do with the editing. Deb, thank you very much for doing all that. And Dimitri for doing the bloody all those photos. Some of those photos my kids weren't happy with. They're like, why'd you put that photo of me in there? I did not. Don't blame me. Blame bloody Dimitri.
I think I should apologise to Dimitri because I'd never edited a podcast before, and he was probably thinking, "Oh my God, Deb, can you
no,
calm down?"
No, he's pretty bloody awesome. He doesn't worry about too much.
Amazing.
So awesome. I was when I watched it this morning. A lot better frame of mind now than I was then. It's a little bit emotional. Had some shit going on, as everybody does.
Yeah.
And obviously a 130K trek is a little bit extreme. Not everyone not everyone
do
can
that.
Yeah. No, not everyone can do it or decides to do that. But I'll tell you what, it was the bloody best thing that I'd ever done.
When we met you, before, you were 4 weeks out, had done stuff all training.
I don't think that changed.
A mask and some brand new boots, and we haven't seen you since.
Nah.
So do you want to maybe talk about the 4 week lead up? Because you also had, you had a lot going on in that period of time as well.
I did.
Yeah.
So look, we had the boots and the mask, and so I went and did. I wore the boots for 12 days, all up. 12 days all up before, but 8 of those days was day in, day out, 10-hour days. I wore them everywhere, and I wore them to Jacob's Ladder in the city. I wore that bloody crazy mask, which was...
Did it help?
It didn't help.
It didn't help.
No, and not only that...
Not a recommendation.
No. I wore I've got a 10 kilo weight vest from the gym many years ago, and I thought I'll wear that because I didn't even at that point have a backpack to take on this trip. So I packed when I packed my bag, I packed to leave. I packed thermal pants, thermal long johns for. I heard it was going to be cold at night. Thermal long sleeve shirt, -20, and -20 degree thermal top and bottom. 6 pairs of jocks, 6 pairs of socks, and maybe 6 or 7 t-shirts, and 2 pairs of shorts, and no long pants. And I just thought, a few of my friends said, "Mate, you're underprepared." I was like, well,
clearly
that's bloody obvious.
What's new?
But I get to fly into Kathmandu, and on the 24th, wouldn't you believe it? It was meant to. So it was on the 25th though at 2:30 in the morning. I was meant to take this 4-wheel drive to Ramachak Airport. We were going to fly to Thukla from there. So get to Kathmandu Airport. Bloody bag's missing, isn't it?
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh shoot. So after
all 6 pairs of underpants.
I know.
He's washing that one pair.
So I did actually take as well as the clothes that I was wearing. I took some chocolates and lollies and toys for kids, and that we handed out along the way. Took some Gold Room bucket hats along that I gave to all the I gave away to some kids, but also to every husband and wife owner or the owners of these tea houses that we stayed at. So that was awesome. So get to Kathmandu, go to the Green Valley Nepal trekking company in Tamil. Told them that my bag isn't there and gonna have to postpone the trek to the next day because I'd found it. Yes, it's your bag's still in Kuala Lumpur. What do you do? They actually had to take bags off the plane. This is what the guy at the airport said. The plane was overloaded. Had to take some bags off. Yours was one of them. I was like, okay, that's fine. Listen, I'm not in the flight industry. I'm just relaying the information. So we should actually ask Laura.
We should.
Is that what Marumba Airlines does or not? So anyway, what it did do is everything happens for a reason. Some people are spiritual, religious. I'm not. But look, good bit of karma and some good luck, I think. So I had an extra day, and that meant that I could go and have a look around and I bought someone said, get yourself a really thick down coat or jacket and get yourself a wet weather something, a windbreaker, wet weather or weatherproof windbreaker, both for your long pants and top. And I just thought, well, I'd brought this bloody Swan Dry with me, this thick woolen coat. And so I thought, I'm not probably going to need what these guys are saying, at the trekking company. They're like, you're going to need to get all this stuff. Have you got all this? Have you got a sleeping bag liner? Have you got this? I was like, yeah. No. So I walked down the street and had a look at some shops, and I bought some what were meant to be weatherproof windbreaker pants. And the day after making it to Everest Base Camp in shorts, we were hit with this bloody snowstorm. And I don't know if you guys saw it on the news, but there was a I think about 50 people died on the other side of the Tibetan side of Everest, and 1,000 people were had to be evacuated from the mountain. But we started trekking back that morning as all this weather started to come in. So there were people on the trek with me they looked like Frosty the Snowman. They were covered in snow. I'll put some photos up as well because it was amazing. I think for me, what I took from the trip was exactly what I knew was going to happen. It was just that one foot in front of another, and I'd watch these YouTube videos, and I'd listen to all these people that have never done it before give me all this advice of, your lungs, they're not going to survive. You're not going to survive. As I said, some of my friends.
You were worried about the asthma too, weren't you? Your mum was.
My mum was. And I thought, I'll just cross this bridge when I come to it. If I need to get a helicopter off the mountain, I'll get a helicopter off the mountain. And when I looked through, this is a bit silly, and I don't advise anyone to do what I did ever. But when I looked at insurance, travel insurance, the travel insurance for like hiking or certainly going above certain certain sea levels, there's up to 2,000 meters, then 3,000 meters, and the costs just kept going up. And then when I looked at the inclusions or what I needed, for like hospital, medical evacuation, it was like $1,900.
Yeah, wow.
For travel insurance. So I did what I do best, and I opted for no travel insurance.
Thought she'll be right.
You did a comprehensive risk assessment.
I did. And I just thought, if this is what I'm going to have to pay for nothing, for something that may or may not go wrong, but then I'm going to have to pay $1,950 in an emergency to helicopter off the mountain anyway.
Yes.
So I was just like, well, if I make it, great, happy days. If I don't, I'm still paying that same amount. So I didn't tell anyone that before. Actually, I told my best friend Steve. I said, look, mate, no travel insurance. Silly bugger. So the trek itself, right, from landing in Thukla, I got out of the plane, out of this tiny little bloody single prop bloody plane, and I thought...
not a fan.
Huh?
I'm not a fan of the single props.
No. So I get out of this plane, and I expected that I was going to feel... like my breathing would change.
Oh, okay. You thought
that's what I
immediately.
thought.
Yeah,
I thought immediately. Yeah, and a few people that were on a trek. We had this guy, awesome guy, Australian or Kiwi/Australian, Peter. We had 2 German, young, 32, everyone's young to me these days. One of them we named Princess, beautiful long blonde hair. Helena and Leonie, amazing girls. We had a Northern Irish lass called Natalie, and we also had Cindy. So she was from Canada. Amazing group. Our Sherpa was Amber from North Valley. I keep plugging North Valley. And so we all get there and we all meet up and in Thukla, and we're there and we have a cup of tea and right, we're going to start the trek. It was really quick.
Straight into it.
And so CTL put $1,000 into the fundraiser straight away. Started off on the trek, and I obviously didn't know what to expect, but in my mind I'd told myself, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, both mentally and physically. And I wanted it to be difficult. I wanted it to be really difficult. What I wasn't prepared for was the food that or the water or something that I'd eaten the day before. That morning before flying to Thukla played absolute havoc on my stomach. So I was 5 or 6 times for the first 4 days. To every time that there was a toilet on this trek, I was running for the toilet. You got to bring your own wipes and you got to bring your own toilet paper. They don't supply any of that.
And was it running toilet or drop toilets?
It was a mixture. It was a
we
mixture
only
of
had
both.
drop toilets, and they were very far and few between.
So there were the old the squat toilets.
Yes.
And then they did have some normal flushable toilets along the way. We so that was a hindrance to.
Oh, because you're so depleted too, aren't you?
I was exhausted. I was
energy
exhausted for the
levels.
first 4 days of the hike. I drank lemon ginger honey tea and garlic soup. Anything that I tried to, I tried to have a dal bhat set. I tried to have a Tibetan bread and I tried just to eat something, but as soon as it went in, it was working its way out. And so, sorry, ladies, it's just bloody what happened.
Well, it happened to my partner and I, my partner at the time, and we were sick all the night before.
Yep.
So we'd had no sleep and we were delayed for the flight out as well. I think it was 4 days, and it was the last day. If we didn't go, we wouldn't be able to do the trek.
Wow.
So we had to go. The same, but we also had, I don't recommend this either, someone slipped us a tablet and we just took it. So I don't know whatever medication just enough to keep something down, particularly your fluids.
Yep.
But the same, just the soup and the fluid diet. But I have never felt so exhausted.
Yeah.
But one foot in front of the other.
That's dead right. That's dead right. And that's what I kept telling myself. Like I was waking up in the middle of the night, going to the toilet, and my stomach. There was one night, I don't know if it was the third or fourth, maybe it was the final night, that I was up in the middle of the night and I was sitting on the side of the bed holding my stomach, and I'd rub Tiger Balm into it. I was trying anything. I took, much like yourself, I took pain. I was taking pain relief, and then there was someone on the trip that said, I think you've got to, I think, you might need to take an antibiotic. And I was just like, okay, I'll take an antibiotic. And then I was just like, I've got no antibiotics. Obviously, I had no antibiotics.
And haven't got a doctor to prescribe one.
Exactly. But there were people on the trek that had all different kinds of medical supplies, everything that they thought they would need. And so I tried a few things and nothing would work. And so it got to probably the last 2 hours of the trek, so ranging between 4 to 6 hours of trekking every day. And the last 2 hours or last couple of hours of every day was excruciating. I got to, and I'll hide a lot, but then on my face, people on the trek were saying, if this goes on again tomorrow, this after the second day, they're like, if this goes on again tomorrow, you're going to have to turn back. And in my mind, I was just like, turn back. I was just like, there's no way. I'll never turn back. I won't stop. And so what I did is I just started drinking heaps of water. Heaps. And that's
flush it out.
Just kept drinking water. And in those hard times, I went into a dark place and I was just the foot in front of another, and I just kept thinking, this will pass, like this has to pass, and when it finally did, I'll tell you what, I was able to eat the food. The rest of the people on the trek would have been like, oh my God, shut this guy up. Because I was just like, I'm healthy. I just had a new lease on life. I'm back.
Yeah.
And so the food helped. I guess I started the trek at 101 kilos. I know that because I was with my mate at the gym and looked down at the scales. I thought, far out, where did those extra 5 or 6 come from? And when I at the end of the trek, when I get to a hotel, went up to the gym and 91, I was just like, shit, I've lost 10 kilos, which is intense to lose 10 kilos.
Well, that was the backpack
13.
that you had when you were doing your training. So not only you shred that.
It was obviously there's a bit of weight that needed to go pretty quickly, but I was dehydrated at the start but I just kept going. I'm not a religious or a spiritual bloke, as I said, and I don't want to say the trip changed me, because it didn't change me. I'm still the same person, but it gave me some added strength that I either didn't know I had, and excitement for life that day. And I'm certainly not going to say, I had a friend of mine message me saying, oh, congratulations, when do you climb Everest? So I got to the bottom of Everest, and then
I looked up and went, no.
Yeah, what a journey! What a journey that would be. But no, I won't be doing anything crazy like that. I'm excited that I came back, more excited, if that's possible, for life and everything that it throws at you. I was.
And what about your boys? What was their reaction when you got home?
They were, so Lakin, as I said, Lakin was in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I picked him up on the Sunday. I got back on Friday night, picked him up on Sunday, and I'd been sending him. So there was bugger all reception. So I picked up Tristy. We went, started showing him through all these photos, and he was blown away, and he was just like, Dad, why did you wear shorts?
Why don't you wear shorts?
Yeah, someone needs to keep me in check. No, so look, the reason I wore shorts is because I just knew it was going to be hard. And I just thought, what else? I just wanted something else. I wanted to really push me to a place that I never thought I could go. Now, we did speak briefly about my lungs, how I thought my lungs would cope. The craziest thing, I was messaging my auntie saying, Trace, I don't bloody understand how what's going on here. But the higher we got, the stronger I got, the easier the breathing got. Now, there were people on our trek that got pretty serious. Look, maybe not serious, but they were sick with altitude sickness, headaches in the back, and they were serious, like, wasn't good. The Sherpas, were asking, every day, how are you? Now, after I got over that stomach bug, I just went from strength to strength to strength. I was running up hills. They would have
hated you.
Oh, they they wouldn't have. They didn't like it. But in saying that, when there were the tough days of some pretty steep bloody climbs, I would change from being at the front to dialing it right back and going to the back and just pacing myself, just one foot in front of another. At the end, coming back, I wasn't disheartened, but I just thought I kept looking up at these mountains, and I just thought, I've just had the most amazing time. And certainly speaking to people when I've got back, and I've said, I just don't understand why my lungs and my physical fitness was so much better at a higher altitude. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I should spend more time up there.
Of course, that's where your mind would go.
No, but look, mental toughness, that's something I got from it. A lot of time you're 130 kilometres of thinking about where you're at, where you've been, and what's next.
And what your priorities are, I guess.
Oh, definitely. Priorities are a big one. Making small adjustments in everything, and I was able to, because I'm so busy when I'm here, I wasn't able to there were times when the old mental filing cabinet was overflowing with things that I had to do, and that was just mental pressure that I put on myself because I've got a great team. We've got, I probably take a little bit too much on. While I was gone, everything still ran.
Yeah.
Everything was still working. And that was something that was a key takeaway for me.
Lesson, yeah.
Yeah, like things will still work. Things will still run. You don't have to have a finger on the hard core on the pulse.
Yeah.
You still got to know what's going on. But if you've got good people, good teams around you, that's paramount.
And do you find sometimes also when you come up face to face with Mother Nature, like you were saying around the storm, about how insignificant really we are? Yeah.
At least that is beautiful, that is perfect, and that's 100% correct, because when we were down in the bottom of this valley and it was snowing hectically, and because I'd never done a trek like this before, I didn't know until, stopping and talking to some of the other people on the trek that, and even the Sherpa even Amber was just like, the Nepalese have this saying, it's a saying all over the world, no problem. The amount of times I would have said namaste over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And and Amber the Sherpa just kept saying, every time I asked him a question, no problem, no problem. No problem. I was just like, oh, well, fuck, no problem then. But then when we're walking through this valley and you're looking down and looking around and you're trudging through snow and sleet and torrential rain, and then you hear avalanche. I didn't know what it was. I thought, was that thunder? And then I said to Amber, what's that noise? And he's just like, that's avalanches. He was just like, that's an avalanche. And I was just like, so then I was more in tune to it. And we, another hour or so later, and looking around at these. Look, the valleys were huge, so the snow was so far away from us. Yeah. But it did, when I started to hear other people on the trek were saying, they had like missed calls, messages. Once they got to Wi-Fi, and at one point I looked at my phone, and when I clicked onto Wi-Fi, there's 56 messages, and I was just like, put it back in airplane mode. I was just like, I'm not talking to anyone, replying. I'll reply once we're bloody out of it. But the people on the trek were saying, there's been there's been these avalanches on the other side, and some 50 people were killed. And
This is Thukla, the memorial to all those who have died on Everest. Sad but humbling experience.
I guess put a little bit of a dampener on such an amazing time, knowing that people were struggling on the other side of where we were. Yeah. A little bit disheartening.
Certainly came up on the news here around the evacuation, and we were like, I think that is where Josh is now.
We were so lucky because we started walking out that morning, and that's when the weather came in. So we were walking down from Gorik Shep on that morning, and the people that we were passing, at the further we got, and then that night at our first stop. Certainly thought to myself, oh shoot, those people that were walking up past us, going the other way. Yeah. Not great.
There is camaraderie between trekkers though, isn't there? There's a bit of a culture, as you're saying, around.
There sure is.
There's your own personal journey, but it's around that tribe, I think, as well. Is that what you experienced?
Oh, definitely. These, you're with these people for 12 days and you end up like a little family. Yeah. As I said, there was a girl that we ended up calling Princess Leonie. One of the Cindy, this Canadian girl, she was 25 or 26, and she no social media. 25 years old or 26 years old, no social media. So I was just like, that's impressive. She's a nurse, and she just lives to travel. She goes back to work, and then she saves up, and then she goes and she's traveling. She's planned like the next 2 years of traveling. So she was a nurse, and there was other people on the trek that were knowledgeable, but were giving out information, health. For health advice with no medical background.
Yeah.
It would be the same as I would never tell anyone to take anything more than Panadol. There was some, take this will be great. I can't even read what that is.
I know, it's me too.
So, but this girl, Cindy, she was amazing. She was a nurse and she ended up, she probably wouldn't like this, but she was like the group mother, asking advice, because I certainly said it. I was just like, what would you do, Cindy? She's just like, I wouldn't take that. I was like, I'm not taking that then.
Keep drinking water, Josh.
Yeah. So no, look, you're right. You build up a great rapport with the people that you're trekking with, and it's just inspiring. That's if I had to sum it all up into one word, it was just inspiring.
And we've talked about your 10 kilos, and you're looking great, but you're glowing.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm, like even the team, when I came back, they were like, you look different.
Yeah.
I said, I lost some kilos. I lost some weight, but
it's not that though. Well, sorry, you can notice that, but it's not
thanks,
that. Fat bastard before you left it. You can cut that bit out, Dimitri.
We'll leave it in. It's a fair call.
But no, it's not. I mean, there is that. But you look.
I feel strong.
I was going to say younger. I'm digging a hole here. Yeah.
The grey hair will always be there. Look, I feel strong physically. I feel strong, the strongest mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good like it.
Because you were not in a good way when we caught up before. It'd been a really tough.
Oh, it'd been a tough time.
Period.
Yeah.
So.
It had been a really tough period. But not just tough on me. It'd been tough on others. Yeah. And that was something I was always aware of, and for me to help others, then I needed to be the best version of myself, and that was the driver. That was the initial driver for me. I was just like, this needs to be intense, whatever you do, and I came back and I got back last Friday, and a week back now, and all I've done is just daily kick goals. So
amazing.
Family, business, the people have reached out, and people that I was talking to before, like the great work that you do, Deb. I've spoken to people that were struggling, miners that were struggling have been struggling on site, and I am able to tell a few little bits of my little experience, and saying shit. There's nothing truer when people say, not a truer word's ever spoken than get out there and do something, hit the gym, take control of your physical well-being, take control of, some, I'm no dietitian, and I'm certainly not giving out advice, but this is what works for me, and that's hard work. That's the gym, a bit of good nutrition, and more hard work,
Yeah.
Makes a strong person.
It does. So coming back to the fundraising.
Go.
So you've had 74 podcasts.
Yes.
So $100 a podcast, what do you reckon? $200?
Look,
for everyone
it's all
that's been on,
I think so. We got we got Jonathan Fisher, Cauldron Energy. Yeah. And look, I mean, he's not even selling they're not even allowed to dig up bloody uranium in this state. And he's put $250 into the fundraiser. Yeah. So
tax deductible.
Exactly.
Going to our great causes.
Yes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's not much.
And I said to you before we went on air, like it's hard raising money for charities. Like I know, but you've done an amazing, not only from what you've done with your Everest climb, but what you're providing back to industry and people through the Gold Room is absolutely incredible.
Thanks, Deb.
And it's not much for them, that community, to give back and go to some amazing causes that are dear to your heart, but so many of us,
the mining industry is dear to my heart.
Yeah.
So for sure. I think no one knows everybody's financial situation,
but every dollar counts.
Every dollar counts, and if we make that, if we're at the end of November. If we make that by the end of November, if we make that 20,000, then this time next year, I just thought about this now, and this is probably
I was
just.
going to say, you look like you're talking on the fly here.
There's that look in his eye.
So if we make the 20 grand, then next year I'll choose a higher peak. So I got the 5,364 meters.
Yeah.
Next year I'll choose something else and do that for charity. I don't think 20 grand is. I don't think 20 grand's are too hard to ask, and if I can, CTL put 5,000 in. If we can get 10,000 to Mission Australia and 10,000 to a Miner's Promise, I think that's powerful.
Oh, yeah. The difference it will make to us is amazing in our families.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, ladies, thank you very much for interviewing me again, second time. I probably waffled on a little bit, but look, I'm excited. I'm bloody excited at who I came back as. It's pretty awesome.
It's really, really great to see.
Yeah, thank you.
It's wonderful to spend time with you and just see this energy and glow about you. It's inspiring.
Yeah, cool, Deb. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into another episode of the Gold Room podcast, this special edition post-Everest. For those of you, we would love you to support the fundraising effort. If you look below, you'll see the link. Every dollar counts, so please dig deep if you can. Thank you very much.